Hey everybody, we're back with I think this is the 21st program we've been doing, Lawrence History Project.
Gone by quick.
And well, time goes by quick, as you know. And for those of you who are younger, I have a surprise for you. If you think it's going by fast, wait till you get older. It accelerates. It accelerates in its rapidity. Okay? So we're here to get as many of these down as we can for posterity. Okay? So also want to thank the people that have been emailing me. Christine in the Philippines, thank you very much. Getting a lot of email from people local, and appreciate that. Did you get an email from somebody, Tom? Who was that?
Bob Dumont?
Bob Dumont. Yeah, Bob.
Great guy.
Bob, a great guy.
He worked in Lawrence for years. He was with the prison system. Good man. He's up in Bristol, New Hampshire, with his family now.
And I understand Bob's a big fan of Lawrence History Project.
He is. Everything about Lawrence. He's an aficionado.
Oh, thank you. Bob, we'd like to hear from you. If you have any suggestions, any pictures or anything, please send them in. LawrenceHistoryProject@gmail.com. Okay, guys. Are we ready to dive in here?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Let's go in the deep end.
Okay. Well, Joe, you know what this is, right? You want to explain what this is?
Mill Street. Okay. The mill workers at the end of the week would get their pay at this location.
In cash, right?
I think, yeah.
In the old days, they used to get a pay envelope.
Yeah. No personal checks.
I still remember in the 60s, I still remember working at the hospital, and I think they used to pay us in cash, pay envelope.
Yeah.
Didn't they? Yeah.
It's a paper boy at the Tribune. That's the last time I could pay that way that I could remember.
Right.
Pay envelope. And I think they went over to checks after that.
Right.
And here it is, I would say, from those cars, I'd say that looks like the 1950s. And that's the American Woolen Company. And then right after that, going towards the white building, that's still there, right?
Yeah.
That's Heritage State Park.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And by the way, anybody's interested in Thelma Todd, I had an email from somebody who's interested. I said, Joe's the man. And in the Lawrence Heritage State Park, they have a Thelma Todd
Theater.
Exhibit that you arranged. Did you not? Is that correct?
Yep.
So anybody wants to research the tragic life of Thelma Todd. And in case you don't know who Thelma Todd is, she was a household name, like almost 100 years ago, from Lawrence. Lawrence girl, died tragically. That's what it looks like today, if you drive down there.
Yeah.
I took that photo just a week or so ago.
Mm-hmm.
Froze my butt off. Oh, here it is.
There it is.
And here it is, yeah. American Woolen Company. Yeah. There it is. Yeah, I went out Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
Saturday, yeah, it was freezing cold.
Blustery.
Yeah.
Blustery. I was freezing. And then I fell on the glare ice. I fell and I reached my hand out. So I thought, falling, I said, it's better to break your arm than break your back.
Yeah.
And my arm took it, and my hand got cut, and it was bleeding. And I said, well, I don't want to go back. I want to take some pictures. I just washed it off with some snow. Mm-hmm. And then I took some pictures, and then the battery ran out on my phone.
Oh, no.
So I said, well, I think that's it for today. I think I'm done.
Wow.
The universe is
Yeah,
sending a message.
that's right. No point in pushing things beyond where they want to go. Okay, next, please. Okay. Joe, do you know when this was built?
Yeah. Let me think. I think it was 1870s, 60s, 70s. Mm-hmm. After the Civil War.
After the Civil War.
Yeah. I remember in 1950s, Howdy Doody had a Christmas party there.
Oh, yeah?
Is that
And
right?
my father brought my sister and I. Mm-hmm. And there was Clarabelle, Princess Summer, Fall, Winter, Spring, Howdy Doody, of course, and Mr. Bob, and a few other characters from the TV show.
In the Armory. Yeah.
In the Armory,
In the
it was a Saturday morning, huge Christmas party, and they were all there.
That was a cavernous area.
Yeah.
Because we used to go down there for basketball practice.
Oh,
in the
remember
fifth grade.
that? Oh, yeah.
Fifth grade, there were howitzers,
Yeah.
enormous 155 millimeter howitzers.
Yeah. I remember when it was torn down in the late 70s, there was a gentleman walking by, and one of the construction guys said to this man, there's a plaque here. If you want it, take it. It's yours.
Wow.
And it was the bronze plaque that had the date and the
Right.
information about the armory. And the construction worker just gave it away.
Oh my God.
I know who the person was that has it.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm surprised that didn't end up in your living room. Well, Joe's got a regular
That story's
museum.
not over yet. Yeah.
Yeah, someone, one of the construction guys that was tearing down the building offered
Imagine.
this plaque to the stranger walking by.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Take
No
this.
foresight is the city.
Oh.
That could have been a great exhibition
Oh.
area
Right,
now.
just take the take
No
this.
foresight.
No,
Take this
exactly,
plaque. Take
exactly. Yeah, exactly.
What a
Next,
loss.
please. And we'll see. And no foresight, as usual.
Yep.
As usual, we see. Imagine what an office building that would have made. Or something.
Yeah.
And now
Yeah.
on the left,
Housing.
where the tractor is, it's a parking lot for a restaurant.
Yeah.
There's
Yeah.
not much between there
yeah.
and where the wreck used to be.
And
Yeah.
I was going to get a picture of it, but I was freezing my butt off, as I said. But there's a credit union right there. If you go in the credit union, there's pictures on the wall of the old armory. The old armory says every town had an armory with howitzers and ammunition and everything. That was their idea of readiness in case of an invasion. And I think by the 1960s and 70s, the military had a different concept they followed. They didn't really they didn't use the armories as much.
No,
It became an outdated concept for
they
them.
had the forts probably take over, like Fort Devens and Camp Edwards at the Cape,
Yeah,
which
yeah.
by the way
Otis.
closed.
Is Otis
Otis
at
Air
the,
Force.
Cape still open?
Otis, I'm not sure. It might be.
Yeah.
I know Edwards closed, and then
In Devens, I did a summer camp at Devens, in
Right.
the hospital.
in Hanscom.
And,
Hanscom
Hanscom,
is,
yeah.
you know,
Now it's a psychiatric facility,
Yeah.
part of it,
yeah,
at Devens.
yeah.
Oh, okay.
Oh, wow.
That is the Eagle Tribune.
Yeah.
And there's a story there. What is it, 1969 or so? I was thinking about it today. Just get your mind wrapped around this.
Yeah.
The city's newspaper gets up and moves to a wealthy suburb. What were they thinking of? Well, I mean, wouldn't it have been a noble thing to just leave, at least, okay, if they want to print it outside the city, leave the main office in the city, which it purports to represent.
Right.
It's a missed opportunity. The Eagle Tribune moved to North Andover. The Eagle Tribune moves to North Andover. I mean,
You know what happened about that deal?
no.
Well, Bishop's
Joe's got the inside.
Joe's got the
Go ahead.
inside
Let's hear it, Joe.
Urban Renewal.
Yeah.
Bishop's was asked to move from where they were located originally to
Oh, okay.
where they were.
We have a
before they-
picture of that
right,
coming up,
before
by the
they
way.
closed.
Yeah.
Originally, the Tribune was supposed to go to that spot where Bishop's is.
Oh, I didn't know that.
And the Tribune was asked to go to South Lawrence Industrial Park, move everything to Industrial Park. It's large space. Tribune said, wait a minute. We were promised that site where the Bishop's is there. We're not getting it? No, we decided to have you guys move down to Industrial Park. But there's no one there. How are we going to sell our papers?
Right.
So they got mad and moved to North Andover.
Yeah.
And then they moved all the family members of the owners. The family were moved to Andover Cemetery overnight.
They just
Under cover of
they
darkness.
disinterred them?
Are you kidding?
Whoa.
Except the in-laws. It was
They were outlaws.
the members of the family
Wow.
were
Wow.
moved.
They
at
must have
midnight.
been pretty. They must have been pretty angry about something about that.
Well, they wanted to go where
Yeah.
Bishop's ended up
Yeah.
going
Yeah.
to. That was supposed to be the Tribune's location. And the city
Oh, my
recommended
God.
that they go to Industrial Park in South Lawrence.
And then the police are there now, right? Or part of that site? Lawrence
next door.
Police?
Yeah, they were next door.
Yeah.
And then they have a new police station across the street, which will be opening shortly.
Oh, there is?
Yeah, that's
Oh, yeah,
right.
it's
There's a new one
huge.
going in.
It is.
Large building. Yeah. But yeah, the Tribune got a little upset, and they moved to North Andover.
Wow. That's the rest of the story. I didn't know that.
Oh,
That there must have been a
yes.
lot of nasty
Urban renewal.
politics going on.
Urban
along
renewal.
there. And there it is nowadays. The building is still there.
Yeah.
You know, they could have had the journalists working there and print the paper in Northampton. Nobody would have minded. I don't know how you represent the city of Lawrence looking down from the top of a hill far away. You know what I mean? It's
I
just a
think
missed
they
opportunity.
wanted a larger area than that.
Footprint.
Well, yeah. In those days, they used to print it up right there. You could actually, you could walk in and see the presses.
And then there was a terrible fire in 1922.
Oh yeah, in that building.
Yes.
Oh, yeah?
Terrible fire.
When did the Tribune start? How far
I
back?
say
does it go?
1898.
Whoa.
Yeah.
You were probably a paper boy around that time.
I read it. I used to read it.
Used to read it.
Yeah.
But they've gotten 2 Pulitzers, right?
Yeah.
The Tribune, the writers for the Tribune.
Yes. Yeah.
Pulitzers are interesting. I was telling my wife, Esther, you could nominate me for a Pulitzer Prize. Anybody can nominate somebody for Pulitzer Prize.
Right. Yeah.
Your mother could nominate you for Pulitzer Prize, and then when you go out, you put your first novel out, you put right on the cover, nominated for a Pulitzer Prize.
Yeah.
Hey, you're not lying. Your mother nominated
It
you.
happened.
Right.
Hey, you didn't get it,
It
but you were
happened.
nominated.
Yeah. Get some people going to get ideas now.
Right.
Yeah.
Nominated.
Everybody's been nominated by their mother. Next, what else do we have here? Oh, yeah. Now, Joe, do you
Yeah.
recognize this? I'm
Yes.
test your knowledge here.
That is Essex Street, the corner of Essex and Lawrence Street,
That's right.
before the Bay State Building. And you can see in the middle, in the background, is the
That's right.
City Hall tower with the eagle on it.
Okay, and next, let's see what comes next on this very same site. There we
There
go.
it is. There it
is.
1905.
Yep, Bay State Building.
Bay State Building. Can you imagine Essex Street without the Bay State Building
I
or
know,
Lawrence?
right?
It would be
Such a landmark.
unimaginable.
It's a
Unimaginable.
huge
Yeah,
landmark.
yeah.
Because you'd use it if you're going east or west. You get to Bay State, you turn left or right.
Yeah, they have
You'll
all
give it
they have all
directions.
condos in there now.
Yeah. Yeah.
Some of them are cheap. I saw just last week. I had a one-bedroom condo in there for like $110,000. 110. I mean, really, you could if your payments would be cheaper than renting. I think. if you-
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
And
Next
they're
one,
going up
please.
like crazy. Apartments are going
Oh
up
yeah.
Yeah.
crazy.
And here it is. It looks like 1920s. And you said they did an addition to
On the
it.
right, the right hand side, the 2 sets of 4 windows. That's new.
That was added.
That was added.
That must have been added in the 1920s.
No, 1914.
Yeah.
1914.
I read a little bit about this before I came here. It said this was originally a bank building, but it was very hip, Tony place to have an office. The doctors, accountants.
Rockefeller Plaza type thing.
Yeah. This was the elites. You had an office in the Bay State Building.
It was all commercial. The
Yeah.
entire place was all business. That was it.
There's one of the oldest pictures at the archives, before the Bay State, obviously, at the junction of Lawrence and Essex. There was a huge hay wagon.
Oh, yeah.
Piled up real
I
high.
saw that.
The horses drawing it.
Yeah.
Old school.
Yeah.
And let's see what else we have. Next, please, Cassie. I think I got another one in here. And here's what it looks like today. It hasn't really changed too much, huh?
No?
It looks like it needs a good sandblasting.
Yeah.
Something.
Has
It's a
good
little-
bones, though.
Oh yeah. I mean, yeah. Can you imagine
And
somebody?
the telephone company was on Common Street, right around the. Were they
Yes.
connected? Or must have been a little.
No, I
alley
don't think they
between
were,
the
but
two,
yeah, there
maybe?
was an alley between the two of them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it
And there was
Yeah.
at the Baptist Calvary Baptist Church.
Yeah.
Next
That
to
was
it.
there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Baptist.
Next, please. I think there's some. What else we got here? Oh yeah.
Harper's
This
Weekly.
was the Pemberton Mill disaster,
Yep. January 1860.
January 1860. I read up a little bit on this, and I guess it just collapsed. There was a mill there. It collapsed.
I have a rare CDV of after the fire and everything, and when that was over. I picked it up somewhere. I forget where, but
What is it?
CDV, carte de visite.
Oh.
It's an early
Oh
photograph.
yes.
Oh wow.
The photograph was taken after the fire and
Oh yeah.
a day or two later, when it was a mess.
Yeah.
It was a beautiful picture, though.
Oh, it's-
Louise Sandberg used it when she used to have an anniversary, the Pemberton Mill anniversaries, certain years.
Yeah.
Was it like 276 people or 200? Almost 300 died,
Well,
right?
Less than that.
Less than that?
yeah, I think it was less than 100, but there was about 500 people injured.
Injured, yeah.
And what really made it bad was, first of all, they had moved in. I read about it a little bit. They moved in. There was a panic, a financial panic in 1857, and they moved in more equipment than the place could handle, and without any regard to whether it could support. These things were really heavy, and just on the day in January, it just buckled, and a bunch of people got crushed in the machinery.
Yeah.
But that wasn't all. What happened? The call went out for volunteers, and people hurried to help to free the people who were screaming and everything, screaming for their lives, all hurt and everything. And somebody went in with a lantern, and
Because they didn't have electricity at the time. They had no flashlights
They had
available
kerosene lantern.
at the time.
Yeah.
And he dropped it, and it
Accidentally.
ignited some rags and cotton, and a whole bunch of people burned to death.
The ones that would have survived.
Yeah.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
And there's a monument at the Bellevue.
Is there? Yeah.
11. There's 11 unidentified.
Yeah.
Like a mass grave.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was awful. A lot of young Irish women.
Yeah.
I noticed. I saw the list of the people. There's a lot of young Irish women.
Yeah.
People as young as like 12 and 13, perished in that. It's horrible. But the call went out, and they received donations from all over the country. It went all over the world. It was comparable in its gravity to the Triangle Factory, Triangle Shirtwaist Factory in New York.
New York,
Horrible disaster.
Yeah, that was awful.
And let's see the next one. They built it up again. That's what it looked like. Horrible fire, and that's what it looked like. And
They were heavily insured,
yeah,
and they only took 2 years to build a new one.
yeah. It was interesting. The inquest that they had, they did the blame game. It was the building inspector's fault. He should have known. Building inspector said no. Those pillars were guaranteed by so and so. The owner told me those pillars were from the best. And then they went round and round, shifting the blame. You know what it reminded me of? It reminded me. Remember Abu Ghraib, that scandal with Abu Ghraib about 15, 20 years ago? They were
In Iraq.
They were torturing the prisoners
prisoners.
and stuff. Well, they went around like that. And who did they hang it on? Do you remember? A 22-year-old corporal grew up in West Virginia in a trailer, Lindy, England. Remember that?
Yeah.
Nobody
Yes.
knew about it. They didn't know they were torturing all these Arabs
Yikes,
in the
yeah.
prisons and stuff like
Wow.
that.
So it has to be a fall guy.
Yeah, and of course, they hung it all on her. I think she had a picture in Time magazine, a picture of, she's the one. She's the one that's to blame for all of it. Everyone else went away.
The pillars
Scot-free.
weren't correct. The pillars.
Yeah, they were
In fact,
defective.
There's a sample of one at the Heritage State Park.
Really? Yeah.
And the pillars were round.
Yeah.
One section was thick, but the other section was so thin,
Yeah.
and it just couldn't hold.
Yeah.
And each of the 5 floors collapsed one on top of the other.
Pancake. That's
Yeah.
all it takes. That's
All
And,
collapsed at
always
one day.
construct. In Genoa, remember quite a few years ago now in Genoa, Italy, the road that collapsed, one of the main roads going through the city, same thing.
Yeah,
The concrete was inferior.
right.
They wanted to save some lira
Yeah,
or euros
yeah.
and inferior product.
Terrible. Yeah, the pillars are awful in that building.
Yeah. Notice the one that they made, again, it looks pretty solid. And today it looks almost brand new.
Yeah.
It's what, 160 years old?
Yeah.
100, and they must have learned a lesson.
Yeah.
And they built it right.
Right.
Code. They established OSHA and code.
Oh, yeah.
And David Nevins from Methuen, he had
He bought that, didn't he?
stock in the old Pemberton,
Oh, yeah.
and he was heavily insured. So he really didn't lose much
Yeah.
Yeah.
after the disaster.
Oh, now this little bridge here, if you're from Lawrence, you know where this bridge is, right? It's right on Canal Street. There's a lot of action. As I went through the archives, there's a lot of action taking place here. I don't know when this picture was taken because I was guessing maybe 1912, but they had so many strikes. They had people talk of the strike of 1912, but there was numerous strikes. They had them every 4 or 5 years. They were,
Right.
conditions were terrible in the mills, and nobody wants to work like that. Next, please. We've got a few pictures of that little bit, and that's 1912, and it's January, and they're spraying all these strikers with water, so get them off the street, douse them with water.
Going back to the cold water flats.
Cold water.
floods,
Cold
soaking
water.
wet. And here's that bridge again,
Yeah.
and it plays an important part. It's like a key vortex of energy.
It
All the
is,
action takes
Small
place.
bridge, but
Yeah.
if it could talk.
Oh yeah, and there it is
There it
nowadays.
is, yeah.
And just like you say, you look at it, it's very plain looking. You don't really think anything when you drive by all the history that's taken place over that. Of course, they doused them with water, but later it was nightsticks and bullets.
Yeah.
Yeah, that strike got really mean and nasty.
Yeah.
Yeah. And next, please. What else do we have here? The reservoir. Reservoir, yes.
The res.
Really beautiful. Built in what year, Joe? Was it the 1870s?
Yeah, something
built
like that. Yeah.
And
The water tower is still there.
Yeah.
and it came up in one of our recent programs. I don't know if Tom told us that there's no more water in the reservoir. And I had to go see it for myself.
Yeah,
Here's an old picture. That's one of yours, isn't it, Tom?
Yeah, probably for the late 70s.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The reservoir. Reservoir.
Mine,
Wow.
yeah.
Yeah. This one, I just took this yesterday.
Wow.
I was freezing my butt off, but there's no more water in the reservoir. For those of you that are watching from Florida or wherever you're watching, you remember the reservoir. The reservoir's water is no more.
No.
Where do they keep the water anyway? What do they do with it? They must keep it somewhere. It must be a
I
tank.
know a law came out in the state.
Yeah.
Reservoirs are no longer left open.
Well, with
Open
good,
water.
you
Well,
can
it's
see the
about
reason. Terrorism, yeah.
Exactly.
Just
Poison.
somebody could poison
Yeah.
that so
Yeah.
easily. You
So
can't guard
they
it.
stopped outside
Yeah,
reservoirs.
yeah.
No more.
No more. So, well, they do have a water tank somewhere, don't they?
I think so. Yeah.
Oh, are they using the water tower still? Are they using that water tower still?
I think so.
Yeah.
I think there's a water place near the on the Merrimack River,
Mm-hmm.
near the what's that bridge?
Central Bridge?
No, the one that 495.
Oh, okay.
495 bridge.
double-decker.
Mm-hmm.
I think there was a water tower, a huge water tower there years ago. They took that away, and there's smaller towers there now.
You go around the resin today, well, not today, but in the spring or summer, and it's very active. You'll have people jogging, people,
Oh, yeah.
baby carriage. It's a real nice setting.
Yep, very busy place.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they needed a good reservoir, really good water system, because
Yeah.
Lowell, don't forget in the old days, is a bigger, larger city, maybe 100, 120, 130,000 people. They're dumping raw sewage into the Merrimack River, floating down.
Yeah,
And Lawrence built a state-of-the-art water filtration system.
right.
And of course, I mean, there's only so much you can do. I remember the chlorine that they put in that. I mean, you could smell the chlorine.
Yeah,
You could smell it. It's not as bad now, I don't think. But you walk by the water. I mean, of course, I guess you get accustomed to it after a while. But chlorine they had to put in that water. You remember that in the
Yeah.
drinking
Yeah.
that water? Oh
Yeah,
my
you
God!
And
Smell
in
it.
Manchester, New Hampshire, you could tell, again, just dumping all the effluent in, what they were dyeing, what colors they were using
yeah,
that day
Oh,
in the
yeah.
mills,
Yeah.
because the Merrimack would turn, Manchester,
Oh,
Lawrence,
it was
Lowell, the
awful.
Merrimack would turn color
Oh my God!
to
Yeah.
whatever they were throwing in there.
it was a mess.
Yeah. Well, just think of the pollution. My God, the pollution.
Well, it's a Class D for a while, right?
Yeah.
Before the Clean Water Act. And
Yeah,
D is it's dead, so it was as close to being dead as you could get.
yeah,
Yeah. Not as bad as Cleveland there. Did you say
No,
was it
yeah.
a river caught on fire? And it was so
Wow.
polluted it caught on
Really?
fire.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. That's bad.
It's like the spigot on steroids.
Yeah. Wow. Chemicals and
Yeah. Oh, this is 1928. I think that's fascinating. You know what this is? This is Lawrence Street, looking up towards Methuen Square.
yeah.
Okay.
And it looks pretty much the same.
Yeah.
And I'll show you. I took this picture. And
The trolley tracks.
yeah, trolley tracks. Huh? Who knows? You could take a trolley to Methuen. They must have put asphalt over that. They must be. I wonder if
Right.
they took them up or they just asphalted over them.
Probably covered them over.
Yeah. Nowadays you'd take them up for the scrap iron, I think.
Yeah.
But
My cousins would pull them up for the scrap iron.
yeah.
I remember when I was little, crossing the street with the tracks there, my toe would fit right in the middle.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Right in this middle section, and I get stuck there.
You got stuck?
Oh, and there it is now.
Yeah.
You look on the building on the left.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was still there. That's still there.
Yeah.
Trolley tracks are long. Oh, there we are. Trolley tracks are long gone, but the building,
Not much
that
difference.
oak tree. Look at that. Oak, there was no oak tree, and now there's an oak tree there.
Yeah. It's a big
That
one.
oak tree must be 100 years old.
Yeah. At least.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. In the old days, you could take a trolley anywhere.
Yeah.
You go to the beach. You go to.
Yeah. Salisbury, right?
Oh
They
yeah.
had trolleys that would go down there. The mill workers
Yeah.
would go down. Sometimes give them a little picnic
Yeah.
for the day.
Yeah.
Well, the park up on Route 110.
Yeah.
I think the trolley company
yeah.
built that park. Just
Yes.
yeah. Just people entertain
Give
that.
their workers a day out.
You know what I like? I don't know if you realize this. All the buses in the Merrimack Valley are free now.
Until next year.
Oh, they're going to change it. Oh my God! I was hoping they would keep it. You can take a bus anywhere.
Yeah.
Anywhere. Like my wife and I, we share a car. So if she's using the car, I get on a bus. I go downtown. I go to Lawrence. Anywhere you go to Newburyport.
Yeah.
Anywhere you want a bus, just get on.
Nice.
They're
No
everywhere.
charge.
Yeah. Until next year. Huh?
That's what I heard.
Oh,
It's gonna
it's
change.
too good to be true.
Yeah.
Well, they want people to ride the buses.
Yeah.
So there it is.
Yeah.
Yeah. Next, let's see what else. I forget what we have in here. Oh, this is the
here we
Everett
go.
Mill. As
The Everett
again, calling the troops.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Calling the
I think
troops.
the strike kind of started at the Everett
Oh, did it?
initially.
Yeah.
Because I had one of my great aunts was working there. She was 4 months pregnant, and the mill workers come by. The strikers were telling the workers, "All right, you're done. Leave. Go home. We're on strike. We'll leave." So
Yeah.
my great aunt said, "Hey, that's great. I'm having a baby. Perfect
Right,
timing."
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah. Yeah, she was working there on the first
Yeah.
floor.
And there it is
There you
now.
go. Yeah.
Wow.
There it is now. I took that the other day.
Wow.
Plus, how do you say that in French? Plus le change, plus le même chose. Is that it?
Oh, the
more things change, the more they remain the
It's
same.
yeah.
It's a beautiful building.
Yes.
And I think they're still using it for industrial purposes. I think it's still being used, isn't it?
Yeah. There's even some high-end speaker repair.
Yeah.
Some small shops.
Yeah.
A few antique stores.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're
Well,
divided.
community
They
projects.
partition it off. It's
Yeah.
not
Yeah.
dedicated to one thing. I know and
And a
here's
few restaurants there.
and
too.
this is the Everett Mill. This is the original complex.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't realize it was so big,
Wow, that is big.
enormous. Who started it? It must be a guy named Everett, right?
Mm-hmm.
Do you know anything about it?
I don't know what they named it after.
Huh.
Everett Mill. Everett.
The Everett Mill.
All I know is the earlier Everett Mill is where the stone mill is in back.
Oh yeah,
that
yeah,
was
yeah.
the first Everett Mill. This is the second.
Oh, I didn't know that.
You know, they shoot Hollywood movies in Lawrence. They use these mills as a backdrop. I think a few times they went in there with that stone mill as
Stone
a
mill, yeah.
backdrop. It looks.
Now
Yeah.
it's condos.
Oh yeah,
Made
is it? Yeah,
into
yeah.
Condominiums.
Yeah.
Yep, the old stone mill.
Well, I think we're going to draw to a close here. Another wonderful episode of the Lawrence History Project. What is it that contributes to our success? Is it our looks? Probably not. I think we're past our freshness dates on that one. Our charisma, our great intelligence. Who knows what it is? But they keep coming back for more, guys.
Yeah.
Anyway, seriously, folks, thank you for tuning in. We'll see you for another version of the Lawrence History Project. Until then, be well, everybody.
Take care.
Be kind.
Bye.